I want to thank ARM for having us here. I just want to talk a little bit about transforming CGT with AI. So I'm going to go over my agenda here. We're going to talk about it being more than just a trend, how to approach pharma-specific cautions, how to improve your efficiencies, and how to build the right digital infrastructure. So leveraging AI in CGT, is it just the buzz? Obviously, we have a lot of research people happening, looking at maybe protein folding, the things that maybe are more in the research, pharmaceutical industry, but I'm going to be talking more about how to help with your manufacturing. One of my favorite scientists, Neil deGrasse Tyson, we're swimming in data. How do we get to the valuable information? And that's where we want to use tools like AI. We're attracted to those things in the industry, and we don't really fear them like other industries may. So traditional AI is what I'm going to concentrate on today. Machine learning, we're looking at more of things that are going to be validated, and instead of things like ChatGPT or other type of generative AI. So some of the risks for adoptions for our industry, we have to navigate the regulatory industry. We have, to make sure that we're in compliance with FDA regulations or EMEA. We have to ensure that we have the right use case, the right data, and the output accuracy. So there are some hallucinations that can happen and could give you data that's not actually of value. So we want to ensure that whatever information you're gathering from your manufacturing, that it's actually of some value to your particular use case. We also want to make sure that we take care of cyber and data security. We want to ensure that the data is secure, and we want to make sure that, for instance, the intellectual property, especially in a CGT and climate, there's a lot of IP going on, and we want to make sure that privacy is secure. So I've been part of the BioPit Forum for MES for the Future. It's been really a great consortium to kind of discuss how we can better service the industry as far as the manufacturing models that happen. There's some great response papers that they've put together. I'm going to show a couple slides on that. And the FDA and the EU have some other additional resources for coming up with a game plan on how to implement AI into your individual companies. So we want to drive value through our data. So in our particular case with our software, we're looking to kind of drive innovation on AI through predictive manufacturing, predictive maintenance of your instrumentation, and in your clean rooms and things like that. Kind of coming up with the golden batch, having templates on that to be able to mine that data in a more efficient manner. We want to make sure, especially our materials are very expensive, we want to drive costs down. We want to make sure that we have good material management. So we want to reduce the waste management. So that includes supply chain logistics. And we want to create I'm a process scientist, so I want to make sure I get some process intelligence and make sure that what I'm doing as far as my development of my, one thing on the small scale, but I want to make sure it's scalable and that I'm able to create those things in a quality manner on the different scales. So again, we want to improve cost. Reduce those costs. We want to improve quality, and we want to expedite MPI production. You're going to have more than one modality, more than one type of cell therapy that you're looking at, and you want to make sure that you can push those through much faster if you come up with a game plan on how to create these documents and fully mine that data in an AI way. So you want to kind of tackle those by building a center of excellence. So one of the big things is getting off paper. Notoriously, our batch records are very much still on paper, especially in the clinical space. These are big roadblocks for the industry. So we have the different levels. This is from the BPIT model. And the level 1 is a pre-digital plan where we're working mostly on paper batch documents, even test methods on paper. And being able to digitize those, we'll be able to get that information for the AI models that we'll create. And if we don't have that data in a digital way, it is a hindrance to that. So we have all these different levels that we can go through, and I'm going to just kind of focus on the fact that, the true dream is that level 5 predictive plant. Obviously, it's not always easy to get to that. Nobody has that status right now, so we're really kind of trying to get to these different stages. Maybe you're going to go from a level 1 to level 2 and have some minor islands of automation, or maybe you have some automation already within your facilities where you're able to pull data from your equipment that you're currently using. And then we can get to more into, we see a lot of companies that are doing predictive plants, having that kind of end-to-end visualization into their product, and having a really good collaboration with their suppliers and CDMOs. So that's really important to have that kind of overall arching piece and kind of have a strategy around moving through this model. So one of the other things that we recommend getting off the paper is also getting on the cloud. Being on the cloud is going to be able to have multiple sites, multiple teams, getting that data to be able to scale. We see traditional manufacturing execution systems have on-prem services, which require a lot of software engineering. In our model, we are powered by the cloud. We have a connected manufacturing network that includes work instructions. We build with you as you go, so we can be very configurable for whatever your needs are within your organization. We are able to also handle laboratory execution systems, so you can include your test methods, and then also the MES for your batch record. So I know sometimes these terms are a little new to the CGT industry because it's an up-and-coming industry, but we also want to make sure that we're, have a telepresence. Also, we have a TVC, which is our capability of if you have a troubleshooting incident or a quality incident, you can bring those people in to assist with those matters. We also want to make sure that our software is easy enough to use for the scientist. I'm a scientist. I want to be able to go in there and create my recipes without having a software engineer to manage that. I lose some of that contextual information when I'm trying to explain what I need for this particular step. So we want to make sure that we have robust integrations. So when I'm pulling a data point from that piece of equipment, I want to be able to have the ability to have that data secure. I also want to be able to have a very intelligent UI and design. And we want to make sure we have all of the GMP compliances, 21 CFR Part 11, our audit trails, anything along those lines. And then we want to make sure that the user in the suite is comfortable. We want people to feel that they're, Alcoa, we talk a lot about Alcoa and making sure that when you're collecting that information, you're actually in that moment documenting what you're doing. And so that's why we take a mobile-first approach to our software. And that way we have a lot of iPads that are clean room ready, that can go into the areas. And that way it'll give step-by-step instructions to the operators, and they will know exactly what they need to do at that moment and what information they need to document to the regulatory industry. We also have desktop applications too, in case there's some use cases for that, and we have some wearable headsets that also are really liked by the CGT industry. So we have a very secure platform. We've met all of these really amazing ISO regulations. It's been a huge journey for us to get those. It's We've also made sure that we're scalable, so as you work through your, from your process development teams into your clinical teams, phase 1, all the way into commercial. So this is something that we want to make sure that as you want to make predictions on what you're going to do for your next batch, you can look at prior batches and see what that information is, because you're going to have a product life cycle going on. We have a validated software. It's really super important for this industry that we have IOPQ packages, and we work with external partners to help you also validate on your side. And we want to make sure we're connected with all of the systems that you currently might use in your facilities, whether you have an ERP system or not, whether you have a QMS, DMS system. We have some no-code integrations for those. That really drives down the cost of implementing an MES system. And we also do some custom API integrations and middleware. So, definitely consider, when you're looking for an MES provider, consider going directly to the cloud. Legacy or on-prem systems may not be compatible with AI technologies. A lot of that data mining that you might need to do in the future, it will be much easier to do when you're in a cloud system. We want to turn that information that we have so much wealth of knowledge at this particular conference. I've been it's been amazing having the great conversations here. We want to kind of be able to capture that knowledge and really be able to get some wealth out of that information. So again, we want to, build a process knowledge. These are kind of maybe some new things for some CGT clients, is to follow a GAMP model. This is a guideline for being prepared for making sure that you're ready for the FDA. And you have a quality in mind with the way you're setting up things. You want to monitor and govern your data sets. You want to implement a way to track and manage your data, and basically create that center of excellence for being able to turn that data into something that could enable you to get a new product through your pipeline faster. We want to also understand, production requirements, whether you need certain pieces of equipment, certain instrumentation, whether you need certain materials, and be able to manage those. So one thing that we would recommend is to, determine a use case. Try to find out within your own organization what that use case is. We want to take a Lean Six Sigma approach and unify those teams. We want to make sure we empower the IT, the quality teams, the SMEs. When you look at some of the SMEs, we're looking at, the process development people, the MSAT people, the logistics people. So, there's all of these are very important, not just to keep this in an IT area, but make sure you have all of the teams involved. So, some of the benefits, again, we're going to have golden batch templates. We're going to identify optimized parameters and variables. And we're going to have faster process development, because we'll have more templated processes very easily to kind of put in, differences maybe in temperature, or if you're using a different media, and just be able to swap those out very easily. So some key takeaways, think about some of the benefits you might get on the manufacturing side for AI. Think about trying to get that process optimization, some more keeping track of that instrumentation on where it is. That we don't want to have a bottleneck around that. Making sure you can have a very good insight to your supply chain and what your needs are, and make sure that you can communicate that to your suppliers. And then also, developing those drug therapies, the therapeutics that you need to be able to be faster about those approaches. And, keeping, very easy way of creating SOPs, creating that data that you need to collect. And, I come from the biologics industry, so we've templated the MAB, process that came from before CHO was around. And so we see that happening in your industry also. So we want to make sure that as you make templates, you can do that within our system. And we want to make sure you navigate those risks around the regulatory agencies and ensure the right use case, right? We want to make sure that you don't just go all over and think that this is a kind of a fun thing to do over here, but you want to get a value out of it. You want to have a value add. And always kind of keep in mind your cybersecurity and, IP rights. And, start by getting off paper, and getting on the cloud and gather your data. And, we can align with an AI strategy. Thank you so much and appreciate it.